Moving with my family abroad completely changed how I think about vacation, and probably not in the way that you are thinking, because I feel like people think because we moved abroad, our whole life is vacation. I'm just, out on a beach somewhere, sand in my toes, sipping a drink, walking through palm trees, picking fruit off the abundance of trees, eating out every day. I don't know. I get that sense. Or people ask me, my friends would be like, girl, so what you doing? Like, and I can hear in the excitement in their voice that they want me to tell them like a really juicy story, an amazing, tale about what I've been doing and what I've been up to since our family moved abroad. And I'd be like, child, I went to PriceMart, which is like the Panamanian Costco. I walked to the fruit stand. I took my daughter to art class. Like I just like it's I'm living life. And truth be told, there are some people where they outside. I've seen them. They're in Panama, they're all over the world, they're outside. But they're in a different demographic. A lot of times I'll see retirees, fully deserved. They're outside. Okay, retirees are out here going on international cruises, going to day parties, night parties, mani pedis every week, like just every 2 weeks, like really just leaning into the soft life because they're like, I've done the work and I'm done. And I get it, well deserved. Different place in life versus someone who also is maybe solo traveling, younger, not retired necessarily, but solo traveling by themselves versus a couple who do not currently have kids or have grown kids that are not with them versus a couple like us who have small children, who have young in the house, ready to do things, children. And that is our life. And so I've said this in another video, we're living life in Panama. It's not like nonstop, hashtag vacation mode, but there are aspects of living abroad that make it feel like a vacation. And then I had to ask myself, I was talking it through with some friends about what vacation really means to me now that we are abroad. And there are some vacation like elements to being out here and being outside and being in a different country. So let's talk about it. Vacation aspects here, just from moving abroad. One, I would say that there are actually a lot of palm trees. Okay. There are a lot of trees. There's a lot of greenery. Visually, I love seeing that as someone who grew up in New York, grew up in the Bronx, is all over Harlem, went to high school in Harlem and, whatever. Like I didn't see a lot of trees. Okay. But then in Georgia, you see a lot of trees. But in the city, just in the heart of the city, there's a lot of trees. And that's nice. I like that. That does something to my nervous system that my nervous system enjoys, that it likes. And there is an abundance of fruit trees. Like fruit is just out. Mangoes are just on a tree when you walk down the street. You can grab a mango from off a tree, a banana from off a tree, a coconut from off a tree. Like you can do that within the city. That's new. That's amazing. Visually and just internally, that feels like something. So yeah, I like that. Also, this is the biggie that I've learned in conversation with my friends when they're asking like, what's different? How do you feel? And, do you feel differently? All these things. I'm like, yeah, I'm not driving. And that makes a big difference. Not having a car and the responsibility of a car, not driving has made a huge difference. Now, you might be like, you might need to just say you're from New York, you grew up in New York, in the Bronx. You're right. Didn't have a car in New York, public transportation, pedestrian, okay? However, I was in the concrete jungle, okay? That was different. There were no trees like that. We weren't breathing that, that good tree air in New York. There were also a lot of people like en masse. Now, yes, we live in Panama City, but it's different than New York City. New York City, the energy is like up here. Okay. It's up here. It's up here all the time, anytime, day or night. There's people always around. There's not a sense of like, we're in chill mode. There are people, you can cross the street in New York and it looks like there's a mass exodus from somewhere. Like the number of people that are just walking across a street, okay? And you have to know how to navigate that. It's a different energy. There's a calmness to being in Panama City. All of, my family feels, especially Austin and I, because again, Brooklyn, Bronx, we know the difference in being in a big city like New York versus the chill atmosphere, like Sunday, people chilling, they're riding their bikes. It's not people en masse trying to like cross the street. And it's just a different vibe. And I didn't have a car, could be a pedestrian, but the energy's off. So being a pedestrian and not having a car in a city where the energy is a lot lighter does make it feel like, okay, whew, you can breathe, nervous system chilling, activate a little bit of that vacation mode feeling. But real talk, not having a car, I feel like I never want to have a car again. I never want to own a vehicle and I never want to drive. I feel like I never want to drive. I feel like if somebody sees this and then 15 years later, I'm like, I have a car, and they were like, see, I thought you said you never, don't come for me. Okay, my truth right now, this is my truth right now, that I feel like I never want to drive and I never want to have a car. Because the responsibility of having a car, if you don't buy it in cash, you have the financial responsibility of the maintenance, of the, what is it, the insurance, and if you didn't buy it in cash, the car note. And then it's just driving. Like, imagine yourself driving your vehicle if you drive. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And you just like somebody does something dumb. You know what I mean? And you have to be alert and aware to make sure somebody doesn't hit you, to make sure you don't, hit somebody else. Like you can't just be jamming to your music and just zone out because things happen. Imagine you're trying to get somewhere and now you're in traffic and it takes the extra 15 minutes for you to do what you have to do. Right? Like imagine you are in your car and the AC just goes out and it's hot, and it's Georgia and it's hot and you're sweating in your car and you're in traffic. Like there's imagine your commute being an hour, hour and a half one way. The amount of time that you're sitting in your car, the level of like having to be alert, onness, having to be on that comes with driving a car, the level of a little bit of anxiety that comes with driving a car, at least for me. Even people like driving. There's something about being in traffic. There's something about having to drive. That kind of sucks. So vacation mode is activated for me because I don't drive. We are pedestrians out here in Panama City, and if we need to, we Uber, and we can create a budget for Uber. It's something something we can actually budget for in a real way, where we couldn't budget for Uber back in the States. So that's part of it. There's a nervous system calming, even with us living in Panama City, that activates vacation mode just from being abroad, period. Just from the spaciousness to redefine how you want to engage and be in this world. Learning who you are again when you're up against the unfamiliar and out of your comfort zone. I'm out of my comfort zone. This such and such isn't familiar to me. I've got to figure this thing out. But you have the spaciousness to do that, and you feel like you can do that. The people are kind. You're learning the language. You're learning something new. There's a newness to being in a new country and learning how it works. How do things tick here in Panama? Like what makes people tick here? How do they do business? How do they roll with this? Like when I tell you the times that I've had to like, you're not so forthcoming. I just want to pay you for this thing. Like, so I would just assume you would send me the link and send me the that I need to do. But then I'm asking, for it. Like, you so chill. You so chill about that. You know what I mean? Just trying to get paid. There's an ease and a spaciousness that, moving abroad, I feel like gives you. And I love that. So yeah, that to me is perhaps how vacation mode is activated. Oh, wait. And hold on, rewind. And it's activated from being abroad because we live here. Like I pay bills, I do laundry, I take my kids to their activities, art class, swim, all that kind of stuff. Like we're a family that moved abroad, so we're still living life. And yet and still, we're still kind of touristy. So I mentioned this in a video before. For those who've been following me a while, I have mentioned this a little bit, that We're gonna my daughter's been to the Panama Canal. We go to museums. We've been on some tours, took a cooking class. We went to camping out in Cologne. We went to Portobello and saw the forts there. We still have some places we want to go. We went to El Valle. We want to go to Boquete. We want to go to Bocas. Like there's things we want to do that maybe tourists would do, right? We've been to Casco Viejo, Old Town. We've walked through there. We've eaten there a few times, and it's definitely more touristy than where we live because we see all the tourists when you're there. It's more hustle and bustle, more of a nightlife, and definitely souvenir shops, on every block kind of thing. But beautiful, colorful buildings and cobblestones and this courtyard where people like play the violin, which I'm used to from New York too. There are areas in New York where you're going to see that too, where musicians play subway and above ground as well. And yet and still, beautiful, awesome. That part too, that we can dabble into touristy things as we're living our lives because it's still new to us. So that goes under the newness category. Now, here's the thing. Here's the kicker. We live life here in Panama. And so when I think about that, I'm like, what does vacation look like when you're already doing the thing that you felt was going to be like, vacation? I'm building a life I don't have to take a vacation from, which is true. I feel like we are. But I do think that vacation is a mindset. And then you create the environment or you engage with the environment in a way that feeds into that mindset. So this is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm meaning by that. Vacation to me is a place where I don't have to do much. I can get up when I want to. I can move how I want. I'm not bound by appointments, times, clocks. My nervous system is completely at rest. I can just chill. I can stay at the pool and lounge in the sun and read a book for 4 hours. Or I can go, zip lining in the rainforest if I want to, if I decide that's what I want to do that day. Or I can go to the hot springs over here. Or somebody told me about a great restaurant. Hey, let's go check that out. Wasn't on the itinerary. We can just go. But that's my mindset of what a vacation is. Somebody else might be like, my vacation is an itinerary. I want to see everything. I want to go on all the adventures. I want to do all the things. I want to keep active every day. I want to get up early. I want to go out. I want to see the world. And I'm like, I'm here for it. I definitely love some of that. But for me, vacation mode is like, I don't have to I don't have to worry about much of anything. Now that's different when you have kids. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it because I've really been thinking about this. Okay. I've been chatting up with friends and really seeing what that looks like now that we moved abroad. Like what would it look like for us to go on vacation? And that's my mindset around vacation. The other thing where it's more adventurous, itinerary, that to me is a vacation, but it's more of like an adventurecation, an adventurecation, an exploratory trip, exploratory traveling, where I'm really trying to explore a place. I am doing that in Panama as well. However, it's not concentrated in a short period of time. Like, oh, we have 2 weeks here. We want to do everything. If we went on vacation, it probably would be like a week or something like that. Someplace we want to go for a vacation. So we're not having to get into the routine of immersive living in a space. Because once you have to do like laundry, you start to be like, we need to do some we need to wash these dishes. To me, we're taking us out of vacation mode. And so what does that look like with kids when you don't have a lot of support, maybe with just like Austin and I are not in the place in our lives and with our children, we can be like, hey, watch these kids, love on them for a week. Austin and I, we out. We don't have a setup for that. And so a lot of times when we go on vacation, our kids are coming with us. And so I can speak to what that looks like and also what in the future, when our kids are old enough for that to be the case, or we're in a space where that could be the case, or we have a system in place where that could be the case. Yes, that would be great. He and I can just be like, we out, see y'all we see y'all when we get back. We could do that for an overnight, or that's probably it. Maybe a weekend. We'd have to figure out how that would work, but definitely not like a week. So for me, vacation would be if I'm going on like nervous system reset type of vacation, nobody tell me what to do, when to do, where to do it type of thing, even with the kids. We went to El Valle and I feel like that was close. We went there for a few days. We weren't washing any dishes. We weren't doing any laundry. We stayed in an amazing hotel where we got complimentary robes and complimentary slippers. I love that. I love that you can come in and it feels like luxury. We got in, we checked in, they gave us a little drink. It was, mocktail drink because I gave it to our kids too. It was delicious and fresh. I was here for it. We had an amazing view. I think what I'm looking at visual, I'm a very visual person. I'm also a lighting person. I like natural light to come in from the windows. I like dimmers and warm lights in the house. I don't like fluorescents. I don't really like cool lights too tough. I like there to be a warmth to the space when it comes to lighting. Or if I'm going to get cool lights, I want it to come from the sun. I want it to come from a window. So for me, vacation mode would be like the visual. We went to Hawaii, the visuals were gorgeous. The mountains were gorgeous. We could just sit on the terrace or the balcony of our room and just look out and read and just not do anything but stare at the sky and the things that there were to see, the sculptures that were on the grounds and, on the garden grounds where we were, or at the pool or what have you. So a view, I need probably no itinerary, with the exception of where we're going to stay. I would probably look up some places that I know that we can eat. So look up their menus so we can get excited about the food because I'm here for that. And yeah, I don't want to do dishes and I don't want to do laundry. So about after a week, I feel like packing light, we pack for a week. So after a week, it's like, now we probably need to do laundry or, type of thing. Um, and so for me, it's just a week of like, we can do what we want when we want and we don't have to be like on and ripping and running. And that could be a day of adventure. And then the next day, a day of rest and leisure and chill, whatever we want. That is the point. And the adventure side of that is more of an itinerary. I'm going to this place for a week. We really want to see this site. We want to go to this museum. We're going to make sure that we hit this boardwalk. We want to hit this beach. Like we really want to see that. When we went to Costa Rica, I think we knew we wanted to see the beach. We were staying in the mountains in Monteverde, but I was like, oh, we want to see the beach too. And so, we took a day trip out to the beach. We drove out and took a day trip out to the beach, which was really nice. So it wasn't, we kind of was we were kind of on the fence about it, but then we decided we were going to do it and we did it. And that was nice. So took a little mini road trip, went to the beach on a whim, ate at a restaurant. Okay. Really good food. Like, I'm like, remember the name of this restaurant, write it down because we need to come back. We ate in another restaurant. We went there twice while we were there. Really good food, especially for like breakfast and like midday. We really liked that. The owner was really nice. We went back for a karaoke night. It was nice. And it was just whatever we wanted to do. And we still had experiences. We went to the beach, we experienced good food, and we had a private chef, for it was my birthday. So he came to the house of my first experience doing that. And that was really cool. And so we got to, have that, but that was a leisurely experience because we're in the house. We're not like hiking up a mountain or any of that stuff. But yeah, mindset first is I want to reset my nervous system. I want to feel calm. I want to feel like my time is my own. I want the freedom in that. And then I engage with the environment around me like that. And then we have a preview with the kids like, hey, I just want to let you know what kind of trip this is. This is a leisurely trip. But if there is something that you'd like to do, let us know. And we can, fit that in on a day and decide like, hey, today's the day we're going to go do. We have the energy, we're feeling upbeat. Let's go take this adventure that the kids wanted to take, right? And so everybody kind of gets the best of both worlds, but we're still navigating our time. Our time is still our own. Super important for me, when it comes to vacation mode. And this is me like redefining, like this is redefining or discovering or really articulating. Maybe this is always it, but now I'm articulating it in a way that's like, this is what vacation is. And so if my daughter wants to do something or my son wants to do something, we could fit that in too. Whatever, whichever day that makes sense. We'll do it today. Usually my kids are good if there's a pool. If there's a pool, they can be in the pool and we're lounging. We're lounging. Get them some French fries by the pool. Like they're good. And we're chilling and we're good. We're chilling in our complimentary ropes. Okay. Out by the pool. And that's how we like it. even with the kids. That's how we like it. And so even when we're traveling as a family and doing that, we can get into vacation mode. And yeah, I think when we decided to move abroad, this has been, I feel like, the best decision we could have made for ourselves. Even through the learning curves, even through everything, the pivots, but the realizations that we've had for ourselves and the freedom that we feel in making this move and continuing to make plans to explore more and to see more and giving ourselves grace to go slow and at our own pace because we can want to do so much that now we're like, we got to fit this all in. But like, no, we're still moving at our own pace. And that's more than okay. And I know that, and I feel that, and we know that, and we feel that. So, yeah, vacation is a mindset. In conclusion, because I feel like I'm talking it out with you like I'm talking it out with my friends. But vacation is the mindset of nervous system reset and time freedom. And moving abroad didn't automatically give us all of that because we're living our life. Like we still have to get groceries when we're about to be low on groceries. We still are going to forest school or our class or swim class at the time that those things start. And sometimes that means we got to get our butts up and out and at them earlier than our bodies want to do that. So we are still making sure that we have the things we need. We are still going to the bank and paying these bills and paying, our electricity and paying our rent. Okay, gas is included, yay! But we're paying our rent. We, are paying for the activities and things for the kids, whether it's for school, whether it's another project based, self-directed education program that we want to put them in. We're still investing in that and investing in that for our kids because we are a family that has moved abroad. And so you're going to do things that are important to you and you live your life. And so time doesn't exactly come with just moving abroad as a family because there are things that you have to do because you are responsible for your life and the lives of tiny humans that always want to eat everything. And then after they eat, they want to eat again. And then they're wondering what they're going to eat later. You mean you're going to ask me what's to eat again? Like every day for the rest of my life? It's not for the rest of my life, but sometimes it could feel like it's for the rest of your life. So we didn't get that just automatically being abroad. We did get spaciousness. We did get a nervous system reset, a calmness in our spirit, less anxiety and stress about things for sure. That's what activated vacation mode with moving abroad, period. We are discovering and learning about ourselves. We're excited about new things that we get to see and that we get to experience. However, if we're taking a vacation from this life that we built or not from it, I don't like that because I think we've built something really beautiful. So if we are changing things up, if we're doing a change up, okay, change of scenery, change of pacing, then it looks like the added piece of that time freedom. And I think that is the most accurate depiction of how our definition or idea for what vacation is to us now. I say us, but I gotta let him speak for himself. To me, for me, that's how I'm thinking about it. That's how I'm thinking about it right now. So let me know if this resonates. Let me know what you think about it below. If you have thoughts, what does vacation mean to you? I would love to know. Say hey down below. Okay, roll call. If you've gotten to the end of this video, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when you're talking it out in real time, you're like, is someone going to stay for this whole conversation? Even if you were right in front of me in person, would you be, I feel we would be going back and forth a little bit more. I get that if we were in person. But if you've gotten here in this elite club of like finishers, hey, and welcome to the end of this video. I appreciate you chilling and spending some time. So just say hey below so I can put a face to the number and see who's actually in that little, we got to the end club. So yeah, I'm Imani because you might be watching this video for the first time. This might be the first video that you clicked on because, moving abroad and stuff like that, it's a lot on the intranets. I have a family. There are people who do a solo, people who are couples, the people, who are nomadic. There are people, it's just a lot. It's a lot there. But yeah, I mean, Mani, I make videos ultimately to encourage us to stay connected, connected to yourself, connected to your partner, and connected to building a life that feels good to you because we only get the one. And if that's your vibe, please subscribe and we can continue this conversation. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.